What happens to marginal cost and average cost when fixed costs or wages change? In this video, we'll work through some problems to see how adjustments in the fixed costs or the variable costs, these are like wages, are going to be impacting these key measures of cost. You'll learn how to calculate the new costs and understand the economic intuition behind these changes. With this cost and product analysis, I'm going to go through three problems to try to show, work you through the three main activities I want you to be able to do in this topic. So first, we want to be able to read off average cost from a table. Second, we want you to be able to find the new values of all the cost concepts after we see an increase in the fixed costs. And then we want to find the new values of all the cost concepts after an increase in variable costs. Okay, so in this table, we have the number of workers, we have the total product. This is the quantity of web pages that these workers can make. And here's our total fixed cost of 5,000. It's the same on every single number of workers. And then we have our total variable cost. And so what we see here, this is coming from the workers. You hire another worker, your variable costs go up, right? And it's actually, the wage is $3,000. So you hire one worker, you have to pay them $3,000. So there's your total variable cost. You hire two workers, you got to pay each of them $3,000, and so you get total variable cost of $6,000. Hire three workers, you got to pay each $3,000, so you get total variable cost of $9,000. Total cost is adding those fixed costs and those variable costs up, right? So 5,000 fixed plus 3,000 variable equals 8,000 total. And then we can calculate our marginal costs over here, moving from 0 workers to 1 worker, 1 worker to 2 workers, 2 workers to 3 workers, etc. For that. Okay, now for the problem here, working from this table, if Patricia wants to expand output from 450 web pages, so right here with 4 workers per month, to 525 web pages per month, going to 5 workers to do that, her average cost per web page will go from blank to blank. So what this question is asking you is to calculate average cost for this line and then also calculate average cost from this line and come up with an answer. So once you pause the video here, calculate those two numbers, and then I'll come back and go through the solution. Great. Average cost, or AC for short, for average cost, will be equal to total cost divided by output quantity, or total product, whatever you want to call it. And so if we're going to produce 450, we're working off this line here. Our total cost is 17,000. Our output is 450. And so then we can take 17,000 divided by 450, and we'll get $37.78 for 450 web pages. If we want to do 525, we're going to have a total cost of 20,000 divided by 525. 20,000 divided by 525, put that into your calculator, and you'll get a new average cost of $38.10. Okay. Right, so these questions aren't meant to be that difficult. It's more of like, do you know under the definition of average cost? Do you know what you're given with all these cost concepts in the table? And can you calculate these things out really quickly? Okay, now a little bit harder one. Now same table, same situation, but now we're going to have our fixed cost increase. All right, so Patricia is currently producing 450 web pages again. Her landlord is going to increase her rent such that her fixed costs rise from $5,000 per month to $6,000 per month. And now we want to recalculate all these different cost concepts. So we need a new variable cost, total cost, average cost, and marginal cost. So notice here our total fixed cost is 5,000. These need to change to 6,000. Now I'm not asking you to redo the entire table. I'm just asking you to redo this for that 450 web pages. So we're just going to kind of like redo this line here for that. Okay, so our new total cost is going to be 6,000. So I'm going to do it down here below. So our new total cost is 6,000 for that. Our variable cost doesn't change at all. Right, so that's still going to be 12,000. But now we're going to have a new total cost. And of course, we need to add those two together and have a new total cost of 18,000. So I'm going to fill all those three over here variable cost of 12,000, total cost of 18,000. Great. Average cost. Well, yeah, this is going to be new because we have to recalculate this on our new total cost of 18,000. So that's going to be the 18,000 total cost divided by the number of units, 450. Our new average cost will be $40, like so. Okay, marginal cost. Marginal cost, we calculate on that change in total cost over change in quantity, moving from line 3 to line 4. So our total costs are now 18,000 for line 4. What are they for line 3? Well, this also would have gone up to 6,000. And so we would have 6,000 plus 9,000. That's now 15,000. All right. And so we want to do 18,000 minus 15,000 over the change in output from 350 to 450. That's just 100 units. Put that into your calculator and you'll get 3,000 divided by 100 to get $30. And notice that didn't change. It's still $30. It was $30 before. It's $30 now after this increase in fixed cost. Remember, the key here is that fixed costs have nothing to do with marginal costs. Marginal costs only come from variable costs, right? So in this case, our marginal cost didn't change at all. Okay, now the hardest one is what happens when your variable costs change. We're gonna have to calculate more things to be able to figure out these answers. And so now, the same table, we're still working 450 web pages. We're still talking about this line here. We want to recalculate, except now the wage per worker is going to go up from $3,000 per month up to $3,250 per month, right? So we need to recalculate all these. So I want you to calculate these top three here on your own here. So pause the video and calculate these, and then I'll come back and do this one. This is going to be the harder one. Great. Okay, so what's changing is our wages go up. So our total variable cost here is going to be workers times $3,000. 2 times 3,000, 3 times 3,000, 4 times 3,000, 5 times 3,000. That's going to go up. So now we need to multiply by 3,250 for all those. We'll just need to do this one here. So 4 times 3,250 in wages for each worker times 4 workers. That will give us our variable cost of $13,000 for that line there. Our total cost now will be that $5,000. Fixed costs didn't go up, so 5,000 plus 13,000 will give us a new total cost of $18,000. So the 13,000 plus 5,000 fixed equals $18,000, like so. Average cost is just total cost of 18,000 divided by the output level. The output level is now 450, and so that's going to give us an average cost of $40 for that one. Okay, marginal cost. Again, marginal cost is going to be your change in total cost moving from row 3 to row 4 divided by your change in quantity moving from row 3 to row 4. Okay. So the quantity moving from 3 to 4 is just going to be increase of 100, just like it was before. But now we have a different change in total cost. So our new total cost is $18,000. And we need to subtract off the total cost from this row, but we need to recalculate it, right? We need to recalculate it with that new variable cost for that row. And so we need to increase our wages. So instead of 3 times 3,000, we need to do 3 times 3,250. So this is going to be, 3 times 3,250 is going to equal a new total cost of 9,750. Okay, for that variable cost now. So now we have a new total cost for line 3, 5,000 in fixed, plus that 9,750. That'll give us a new total cost of 14,750. And now we can plug that into our total cost down here for line 3. Okay, so you plug that these numbers into your calculator, solve out, and you'll get a new marginal cost of $32.50, which you notice is that it went up from $30 to now $32.50 because of this.